Tiffany. I'm the director of the Interface Writing team. And while we're on this slide, I will just briefly share some background. I have over 14 years of experience in education, primarily in higher education, but working with high school students as well. I've had the opportunity and the privilege to work and teach at some of the top universities in the United States, including Yale, Northwestern, and the University of Virginia. I have, in my time in my career, I have presented over 60 academic papers and published more than 40 works since 2016. And as the designer of the writing curriculum, I'm excited to share a little bit about our comprehensive writing program today, which is scaffolded to enhance students' skills and support their success across academic, professional, and social emotional success domains. So our curriculum emphasizes the importance of strong writing skills across various career paths that students may choose to pursue. So whether they are going for STEM or law or business or policy, effective writing really is going to be key to clearly communicating their complex ideas and advancing their careers in the long term. So there is this common misconception that if a student isn't going into a humanities or a social science field, why would they need writing? Well, because they might be brilliant in a STEM subject, but if they can't effectively convey or communicate those ideas, they really are going to be stunting their growth and their long-term competitiveness to be creative, innovative, and stand out in their fields, right? We're stunting critical literacy skills that serve as the foundation for long-term success. So our program is structured to build these critical skills, ensuring that students can effectively convey their thoughts and insights in any professional setting they may choose to pursue in the future. Next slide. So here you might be wondering, well, what are some of the tangible outcomes if a student chooses to engage in the writing curriculum? And so we really wanted to provide a practical example of what this looks like. So here you can see an example of a student's initial writing, which really isn't that different from a lot of the writing that we see across our desks initially, right? So it says, I'm passionate about science. I want to study biology because I love learning about living things. And I think that studying biology will help me become a doctor. Okay, we can see, that the student has some interests and it's a good starting point. But while they're expressing this general interest in science and mention wanting to study biology and chemistry, the writing really lacks depth and personalization. Any student can write like this. Any student could say this. So we really don't want to take it at face value. We want to be convinced. So there's an opportunity to expand on what truly drives that student's passion and connect it to specific experience they've had that demonstrate their real interest in that subject. So in this after feedback example, you can see how we help elevate some of those initial general and generic ideas into something that is more memorable, right? And of course, this is only an excerpt, but to just give you a sense of how we've elevated from what you saw in the last slide. My fascination with biology stems from a lifelong curiosity about the natural world, particularly how living organisms function and adapt to their environments. In my sophomore year, I conducted an independent research project on antibiotic resistance in bacteria and so on. So after our coaching, right after the students' engagement with our curriculum, the same student's response now delves into a personal research project on antibiotic resistance, which highlights and in some ways really provides evidence for their genuine interest in solving real-world problems. So we have this accompanying example to substantiate what they said, that we no longer have to take it at face value, right? We can really believe it because there's an experience incorporated. We see that experience being put into action. So the revised version also, just in terms of the writing itself, there's more clarity, there's more depth. It's different from how typical students write to really make them stand out against a pool of other competitive applicants.
Yeah.
And it's more compelling and reflective of the student's academic journey and aspirations. So, and an important part to always consider when it comes to writing, when you have competitive applicants because they have great GPAs and great test scores, it's really the writing that helps them to stand out. And so that's what we really want to do, is take already competitive applicants and really make them memorable and exceptional. So we really help narratives stand out and make the students come through as passionate and focused candidates who value depth over breadth in their writing. So our curriculum, in order to achieve those goals, and what sets it apart from other companies or other examples of this type of coaching, is that we have long-term structured development in our approach. So we aren't just trying to get students at the time that they're applying for colleges. We really want them, by the time they are applying, to have had a lot of writing experience and a lot of opportunity to cultivate these proficient writing skills that can help them stand out. So we provide the comprehensive curriculum. We work closely with college counselors. We have a wraparound service that also includes our customer support team. So your student is really getting writing coaching, college counseling, and just the general support, where our customer service team serves as a liaison, between all of these different stakeholders and keeping parents informed along the way. So that wraparound support experience really enables the student to get tailored feedback, not just from the writing coach, but also have fresh eyes and an objective perspective on their developing writing, which is really reflective of what it looks like when a team of admissions officers is reviewing the writing and coming in with a fresh set of eyes. So we want to make sure that your students' writing is leaving impressions on a multitude of people. And because of the way that our team is structured and the wraparound services that we have, they have access to more than one lens throughout the process. Okay, and so this slide cannot be overstated enough. While AI, we've talked about this a little bit already, but while AI and automation can transform industries, and we know that, what they cannot do is replace critical thinking and nuanced communication that effective writing and just general communication skills foster. So what our curriculum is designed to do is to help students master those essential communication and literacy skills, which are going to be critical for success, even in an AI-driven future. Writing enables problem-solving skills, right? It's not just the words on the page. It enables those problem-solving skills, that cognitive processing, adaptability, innovation, and innovative thinking, skills that are going to remain central to human success in an AI-driven future. So while AI does have its benefits as a tool, and every time we present or we share, I say it absolutely has its benefits. It can be a supplement for certain tasks or activities. It cannot substitute authenticity in writing and the creative thought and innovation that takes place through writing, and especially the type of writing that makes students competitive in a pool of other competitive applicants. So if students are to let AI be the substitute for their original thoughts and their creative thinking and their innovative perspectives, what is going to prevent them from being replaced by AI in the future job market, right? If they're already using it to replace their skills. And here on this slide, we want to just provide some of the concrete outcomes that you can expect when you're going through our curriculum. So we have these 7 key outcomes. We want students to develop proficiency in writing techniques, of course, and that spans a lot of different writing techniques, most of which are not found in traditional schooling. So it's the creative and the narrative and the expository type writing that becomes so critical, especially for college applications, but also writing that they do after they are admitted into those higher education programs. So we also want students to find joy in writing. So it's not just writing for the sake of getting into a program, but to really cultivate that love and interest in writing that can carry them forward for their very long futures that transpire after they're admitted to their programs. And we also want to focus on enhancing self-awareness through writing. So some students may not recognize it early on if they have been hesitant to write or have any reasons for not enjoying it. But once they really do learn to enjoy it or find that it can be an excellent form of self-expression, it can be a really great way for them to enhance their self-awareness and their mindfulness, which is linked to other skills like being more socially aware and better understanding your position in a social environment to build your interpersonal skills and your relationships more effectively. Of course, it helps to develop those critical thinking skills, and even being able to write words on paper and think about things and look at words and think about things that you hadn't previously thought about. Building these critical thinking skills gets closer to, becoming more of an innovator and not a follower, somebody who's developing as a leader in their given field as opposed to just somebody who's executing. So this is, the students that we work with, we want them to develop as those well-rounded leaders, not just subject matter experts in a technical field. So their collaboration skills can be developed through this process. We have different modules and activities where students have opportunities not only for engagement with the coaches and the counselors, but also their peers, right? They can engage in peer review opportunities to get feedback from, other students, right? And students from around the world, which I think is one of the most impressive aspects, of our team and our company is that students have opportunities to engage with students across time zones. And going back to Lorna's earlier point of the importance of, and Hope's original point too, around students being able to engage with people who think differently from them and maybe have different lived experiences. And so those peer review opportunities are not only meant for additional feedback on writing, but the opportunity to communicate and engage with diverse perspectives, which is all great foundation setting for that highly diversified social context that is the college environment, right? So all of this prepares students not only for college level writing and beyond, which, as we've reiterated a few times, is, it's not just about getting into college, it's about them developing the skills that will enable them to be successful once they are there. Here, our curriculum is structured over 4 years. So we start with foundational skills in narrative writing and in self-reflection. We then advance to personal statement development and college applications. The way that we've structured it is that students begin gaining exposure to the specific components of the college application as early as the end of year 2 and the start of year 3, so that by the time they're actually applying during year 4, the process is demystified and they understand what to expect. And ideally, they have been practicing along the way so that they're very well prepared. We have worked with students who have joined us during year 4 who have college application essays to write and are struggling to even brainstorm ideas for what they could write about. This does not put them in the most competitive position to be writing those great essays if they haven't even thought about the transformative lived experiences that they've had that help us understand their character, right, and what they could contribute to a school community based on their developed perspectives. Much of what's covered in our curriculum, as I mentioned before, is not the type of writing that is addressed in traditional school environments, yet it is the most valuable writing for preparing for college applications and the philosophical and the critical thinking that students engage in upon admission to those colleges. So this progressive and scaffolded approach that we've designed really ensures continuous growth and readiness for college level writing, both before, during, and after the college admissions season. So just briefly, to effectively deliver our curriculum, we do use the Trello platform for organizing lessons and assignments and assessments all in a centralized location that is really great for collaboration and good record keeping to observe students' progression through their skills development over the course of time. As I mentioned, we collaborate closely with counselors to ensure alignment with college counseling sessions that they're offering, and we enjoy keeping parents informed about their children's writing development progress. So there's one of the benefits of working with writing and the writing curriculum is there are lots of tangibles that you get to see that progression of their skills in writing. And we also really value, from the assessment perspective, continuous feedback and professional development for our coaches so that they're continuously keeping up with new trends, new skills, understanding how the college admissions landscape is always evolving, and how we can make sure that the writing coaching we're providing is on the leading edge of those shifts.